मैं? We all are playing roles, na? But that's so fun. Namaskar and welcome to the lectures and film screening segment of Kaleidoscope, a festival of the intangible cultural heritage of India presented by Sangeet Natak Academy. The International Information and Networking Center for Intangible Cultural Heritage in the Asia-Pacific region under the auspices of UNESCO, ICCAP, was established in 2011 for the safeguarding of the intangible cultural heritage. ICCAP believes that this is necessary to promote cultural diversity and sustainable development in the region. ICCAP and Sangeet Natak Academy have also signed an MOU for the documentation and safeguarding and promotion of ICH in the context of Asian perspectives and collaborations. We now present a film on the gold leaf craft in Kyu Ki village of Vietnam. The film is about the gold leaf craft in the Kyu Ki village that is located on the northern bank of the Red River in the Gia Lam district, about 15 kilometers from Hanoi in Vietnam. The film demonstrates the process of making the gold leaves and illustrates the craft as an intangible cultural heritage that associates with the traditional village festival dedicated to the communal god, and the craft is transmitted among the generations as a cultural expression for the local villagers. Gold leaf craft in Kyu Ki village.
This folk song refers to a rather special gold craft in a village named Kyoki. It is located on the northern bank of the Red River, about 15 kilometers from Hanoi in Gia Lam district.
Làng là gọi là làng Kiêu Kỵ, nhưng mà tên cổ là làng Cậy. Cái làng Cậy là nguyên nhân làm sao chuyển thành Kiêu Kỵ là vì ngày xưa là cụ Nguyễn Chí Nghĩa, cụ là người giỏi cung kiếm, giỏi ngựa, kỵ binh. Thế bây giờ nói về Kiêu là cũng là một con ngựa, Kỵ là một con ngựa, cho nên mới gọi là làng Kiêu Kỵ.
Depending on their health and skills in handling technology, children as young as 10 and people as old as 70 or 80 years old are able to do this craft. Young children, women, and the elderly do all of the easy steps, like pressing golden leaves between black zaw paper and removing them once they are flat and dry. Youth with better health do all of the harder steps, like smashing and beating the golden bars. Goldcraft artisans are the native people of Kyoki village. They have followed the work form of previous generations from several hundreds of years before. The Kyoki people were able to do this craft from an official with the title Bing Bo Ta Ti Rang Han Lam Vien Chuk Hok Si, that is, a scholar for the Royal Academy and Ministry of Military Affairs. Mr. Nguyen Gui Ji was born and raised in Hoi Xuan village, Liao Chai Commune, Haizhuang Province. He learned to work in the gold and silver trade during the time he went to pay tribute to China in 1763. To commemorate the man credited with passing on the craft, families working in Kyoki village all honor Mr. Nguyen Quy Chi as the father of the gold craft.
Đình làng Kiêu Kỵ là thờ cụ tổ nghề Nguyễn Quý Trị. Cách đây khoảng 300 năm, cụ đi sứ sang Trung Quốc và cụ học được cái nghề dát vàng bạc quỷ và về truyền nghề cho làng Kiêu Kỵ. Trải qua cái nhiều biến cố thăng trầm của lịch sử ấy, thì cho đến giờ thì cái nghề mà cụ truyền lại vẫn tồn tại và phát triển.
Thì cứ hàng năm đến 17 tháng 8 thì tất cả các quan viên trong làng, các quan tế viên đều phải tế cụ ở trong cái nhà tổ cụ. Như là ngày cái đời Cảnh Hưng thứ 13, tức là cái thời nhà Lê ấy, thì cụ đi sang xứ Trung Quốc thì cụ biết cả văn võ song toàn, cụ đi xứ bên ấy thì cụ lấy cái nghề bên mang về truyền cho làng Kiêu Kỵ. Mà chỉ có làng Kiêu Kỵ này làm rồi thôi. Mà như vậy những gia đình làng Kiêu Kỵ làm cho con gái làng Kiêu Kỵ có đi lấy chồng cũng không thể nào mang cái nghề đi làm được.
These days, the Tang house has become a sacred place of commemorating the father of the craft. The local artisans believe that anyone in the village who wants to learn to do gold inlaid work must hold a ritual asking for permission from the father of the craft. If not, the hammer will hit their hand when they are hitting gold. They believe that is because the craft ancestor scolds them for having bad manners and will not allow them to pursue this career.
Với cái hàng năm thì cứ đến ngày 11, 12 tháng Giêng thì chúng tôi tổ chức làm lễ khai đá đầu xuân, mở đầu cho một năm làm nghề, phát huy nghề truyền thống của cha ông, của cụ Nguyễn Quý Trị.
People who use the hammer in the opening ceremony are usually selected based on strict criteria. They must be well known in the craft and have the respect of the local people. Production techniques require meticulous, elaborate, and repetitive movements in a process that is repeated many times. From the technical stage, in which ink is prepared and paper is peeled and dyed black, to latter stages in which materials are cut, arranged, pressed, dried, dyed, and detached. This must be repeated 3 to 5 times to get one gold sheet, and artisans must be able to carry out upwards of 40 different operations. Each craft tool also requires many specific standards. A great deal of folk knowledge has been passed down between generations, between members in a family, and between family lines.
Chúng tôi có cái búa nó có một cái đặc thù riêng, nó không như là búa làm rèn, hoặc là làm các cái khác về vấn đề cơ khí. Tức là nó có một cái góc vát đi. Thế, người làm tay trái như tôi thì là góc vát là bên tay trái, và góc dưới và vát bên tay trái. Nếu như người cầm tay phải thì lại là ở góc bên phải và bên dưới, tức là nó sẽ là vát đối xứng. Ví dụ chẳng hạn như chúng tôi khi gõ xuống là nó bay theo hình như này để nó đẩy cái vàng ra này. Đấy. Vừa làm nóng chảy mà vừa là đẩy cái vàng cho nó giãn rộng ra. Đấy. Cái búa này nếu như người ta làm bằng cây gỗ khác, cây gỗ xưa, thì khi như vậy là chêm cái đanh ở đầu quả búa này nó sẽ dễ bị thôi. Nhưng riêng cái gỗ xưa là mình đóng vào là nó găm chặt luôn, mà nó không bị thôi. Mình đóng cái đinh là bằng sắt 6 hoặc sắt 8 đập vuông đi, đóng vào đây là nó sẽ mút vào đây chứ nó không bao giờ bị thôi ra được. Đấy là nó có hai cái đặc biệt. Cái đặc biệt của cái mặt búa và cái chất gỗ để làm cái cán búa nó là như thế.
It is said that in drawing each item or even in decorating the interior of buildings, nothing can be more expensive than gold. In Vietnam, Kyoki Village is considered the only place where sophisticated and thin golden leaves are made by hand. This product is made of gold and used to decorate each shrine, aiming to elevate the sacredness of pagodas, temples, and communal houses. The golden leaves are also used to elaborately decorate civil works, including furniture, paintings, and other lacquered items. Products plated in gold, which can be used to color objects, are in high demand, and many wealthy people are placing orders in Vietnam today. Until now, the Kyoki people have brought their products to many regions in the country. In addition to work producing flat golden leaves, many families in Kyoki are in charge of staining objects with them. In other words, Kyoki people have worked throughout the entire production process from start to finish. Making new gui paper includes the following stages: peeling the paper, making the new zaw paper, preparing the ink and dyeing the paper black. This stage takes a lot of time and effort, taking as much as 60% of the entire process of making golden leaves. The ink for dyeing black paper is made by putting a mixture of thick resin and sawdust on the bottom of empty pans to burn. This leaves soot deposits, which can be removed. Then, soot is mixed and pounded with buffalo skin glue in the proper ratio to create black ink, which is similar to ink used in China.
Đây là cái bồ hóng mà chúng tôi là lặn nhựa thông và mùn cưa để đốt. Sau khi đó đốt thì cái bồ hóng nó sẽ bám vào đít chảo. Đít chảo thì chúng tôi sẽ cót ra thì nó thành cái bồ hóng này. Sau khi được thành cái bồ hóng này rồi thì chúng tôi lại tiếp tục. Ngày xưa các cụ là giã bằng cối Trong khi đó giã của cối thì gồm có là keo da trâu hòa với nước, đun sôi kỹ. Sau khi đó là đổ vào cối và đổ cái bồ hóng này vào cót thành mực. Xong khi đó bắt đầu giã. Thì quá trình các cụ ngày xưa giã là nói chung là giã cái mực này thì là các cụ giã là thời gian là cũng tương đối. Sau khi càng giã thì nó sẽ càng quánh lại. Nhưng đến thời ngày nay chúng tôi chế biến chuyển thành là không giã nữa, mà chúng tôi sẽ trực tiếp cho vào cối để quay. Xay cái cối này, mực này thì cái tỷ lệ cũng như là ngày xưa các cụ là giã, nhưng bây giờ chúng tôi xay thì nó công nghệ nó nhanh hơn, nó có thể là nó có phần tốt hơn. Đây là cái mực chúng tôi đã bắt đầu cho bồ hóng và nước keo vào xay. Sau khi xay rồi thì cái mực nó có cái độ sánh của mực. Thế khi mà được xong rồi thì cái mực này chúng tôi lại hòa tỷ lệ với lại nước. Nói chung là nước lọc. Sau khi đó hòa được rồi thì chúng tôi bắt đầu mới mang ra để quét vào lá giống. Trong cái việc mà làm cái dây giống của cái này nó quan trọng đến mức độ là nó cầu kỳ như thế, cho nên là cái lá giống mà nó vàng có đẹp hay là bạc có ra nhanh hay là đẹp hay không là do cái lá giống này.
Khi đã có lá giống rồi thì là công đoạn là đập diệp và đánh vỡ gọi là đánh cái nước một, đánh lần một để cho đàn mỏng cái lá vàng ra trước, xong lại cắt nhỏ, xong là đến công đoạn 2 là đập quỳ. Khi đã đập mỏng xong cái sản phẩm vàng đã mỏng thì một công đoạn thứ ba là cái công đoạn là lấy cái lá vàng từ cái sản phẩm đã đập xong.
The process of beating golden bars into long, thin, and flat sheets somehow results in 3.75 gram golden pieces that are 0.7 centimeters wide and 1 meter long.
Về cái lồng quỳ có thể như vậy là nhà thì dùng 2 ngăn thôi, nhưng như nhà tôi thì là dùng 3 ngăn. Thì cái ngăn ở dưới cùng là để các cái sản phẩm như là cái quỳ này, đây là quỳ mẹ, đây là quỳ mẹ, đây là quỳ con. Mỗi một cái lồng như này là chúng tôi có thể như vậy là xếp được vài chục cái quỳ sản phẩm. Cái ngăn thứ hai thì là để cái lá để như vậy là chờ để long quỳ, tức là dùng cái nhân của cái vàng 4 số 9 xếp vào trong các cái quỳ con này để ra cái quỳ cho thợ ngoài tổ đá đánh. Đấy, đây là lá quỳ mẹ, đây là lá quỳ mẹ cũng xếp ở lồng trên. Đấy là phần lá không. Thế còn ví dụ như là chẳng hạn như nếu như là quỳ mà nó dựng mà thấy thời gian nó đủ, nó khô rồi thì chúng tôi bỏ ra ngoài và bọc giấy báo để cho nó đỡ hại cái lá giống, gọi là lá giống quỳ mẹ và quỳ con. Ở đây khi như vậy là để cho nó đảm bảo cái lá giấy giống ở bên trong thì người thợ là phải biết cái đai. Biết cái đai này để mục đích là để cho nó đảm bảo cái giấy ở bên trong nó không bị dập lát, mà nó định vị cái gói quỳ luôn luôn vuông phẳng. khi rấc đầu là đánh vào giữa quỳ, sau đó đánh giãn dần ra. Tức là rấc đầu, rấc một, người ta gọi là rấc một là khi mới biết đai. Đánh thì là đánh từ ở phần trong của cái quỳ, đánh dần nhân ra ngoài. Ra đến giai đoạn cuối thì càng về sau, đây là mang tính chất đàn mỏng, rát mỏng cái lá vàng. Cho nên cái búa là người ta đánh nó hơi bạt nghiêng ra để nó vừa lóng cái lá vàng lên và nó vừa dẫn cái lá dòng trong cái lá quỳ để làm sao nó ra được đều cả bốn góc thì cái lá vàng nó mới được vuông. Để cho vào giữa cái lá quỳ, ví dụ cái này nó nghiêng này, đúng không? Nó không cân nhá, chỉnh lại cho cân này. Trong cái quỳ nếu như mà cái lá quỳ mà để lệch không đúng vào tâm của cái giấy lá giống này thì ví dụ chẳng hạn nó lệch ra cạnh này thì chúng tôi đánh là nó sẽ bị bay ra ngoài. Bay ra ngoài thì nói chung là có tận dụng là quét, tận dụng lại nhưng không thể thu hết được.
Một chỉ vàng cắt được độ khoảng 80 cái diệp. Vâng, 2 chỉ thì cắt được 160 cái diệp. Long một cái vỡ xong là một cái diệp thì cắt làm 6 miếng. Một cái diệp cắt làm 6 miếng như thế này.
Từ nguyên liệu vàng 4 số 9 chúng tôi long vào đây và đánh để khi như vậy là cái lá từ 1 phân vuông này rộng ra đến 4 phân 2. Thử trên đầu ngón tay xe cái lá bạc là nó mịn như sơn. Tức là được. Thế nếu như mà nó lại quá cái giai đoạn ấy thì nó sẽ bị dính. Tức là nó sẽ dính ngay vào cái lá quỳ con. Trong tổ mâm người ta ra lá nếu như mà bị gió là nó bay. Ngày xưa là các cụ làm cửa không kín được như bây giờ. Cho nên là có cái phần việc khi ra lá vàng là các cụ phải ngồi trong cái màn. Ngày xưa là phải quây màn ngồi trong đó để ra lá. Cái sản phẩm đạt đúng chất lượng chuẩn thì lá vàng ra là phải lành, và cái tỷ lệ trong chiếc quỳ là phải đạt 80-90% là lá đầy. Người ta gọi lá đầy tức là lá nó vuông so với cái giấy trại. Thế là một, hai nữa là trên bề mặt của lá vàng là nó có độ bóng. Độ bóng là từ mực mà tạo lên. Thế còn cái dàn mỏng mà đều trên bề mặt của cái lá giống thì là yêu cầu do cái tay nghề của người thợ cầm búa.
This craft has been passed on from one generation to another. As we heard from the craft elders, one strict requirement for every worker is to keep the secrets of the craft safe. Some secretly told tales of long ago, of a time when Mr. Nguyen Gui-chi put a 15-centimeter nail in the pillar of Chang's house and swore that no one could transmit this craft beyond the village. The people of Kyoki village have always believed that the golden leaf craft was transmitted so that the villagers could always keep their promise to their ancestors.
As a part of Kaleidoscope, a festival of the intangible cultural heritage of India, we now present a film from the ICH scheme. The Ministry of Culture, Government of India in 2013-14 formulated the scheme entitled Scheme for Safeguarding the Intangible Cultural Heritage and Diverse Cultural Traditions of India, with the objective of reinvigorating and revitalizing various institutions, groups, individuals, non-government organizations, researchers, and scholars, so that they may engage in activities and/or projects for strengthening, protecting, preserving, and promoting the rich, intangible cultural heritage of India. ICH encompasses domains like oral traditions and expressions, performing arts, social practices, rituals, and festive events, knowledge and practices concerning nature and the universe, and traditional craftsmanship. Activities and projects carried out under the scheme are training programs to support students, artists, performers, practitioners, workshops, documentation, database, creation, integration of education and culture, short research and referencing work of relevance to ICH, its presentation, promotion, as well as for projects in the field of heritage education, heritage popularization, and publication work focusing on ICH. We present the ICH film Monpa Folk Art and Culture from Arunachal Pradesh, a documentation project by Rinjin Films.
Arunachal Pradesh, the land of the rising sun, surrounded by hilly terrains and ecological conditions, is situated in the northeastern part of India, having a long international border with Bhutan to the west, Tibet and China to the north and northeast, Myanmar and Nagaland to the east, and the state of Assam to the southeast. The picturesque state is the largest of the seven northeastern states, covering an area of 83,743 square kilometers, inhabited by 25 major tribes, and further divided into a number of smaller subgroup tribes of Indo-Mongoloid racial stock. Amongst the 25 tribes of Arunachal Pradesh, we have the Monpa tribe. The Monpa tribe is said to be spread out through India, China, Bhutan, and Tibet. The Monpas are one of the major tribes living in the western part of Arunachal Pradesh with an ancient rich cultural pattern and tradition. Monpas are mainly settled down in West Kameng and Tawang district of Arunachal Pradesh. The Tawang district is exclusively the hometown of Monpas, whereas the Monpas, along with the other Arunachali tribes, inhabit the West Kameng district. Although there are several subgroups of Monpas, but due to their spoken language, geographical location, and other cultural traits, they have been divided broadly into three major groups such as Tawang Mongpa or Northern Mompa, Dirang Mompa or Central Mompa, and Kalaktang Mongpa or Southern Mompa. The term Mompa means the people of lower region. All of them feel proud to be a member of the community and they simply call themselves as Mompa. A century back, Mr. L. Wayne has described Mompa as gentle, quiet, friendly, cautious, industrious, good to animals, good to children. You see in the Mompas the influence of the compassionate Lord Buddha and the ordinary man. Until today, they have preserved the same characteristic within themselves, which is remarkable. They have professed the Mahayana sect Buddhism, but in due course of time, Mahayana Buddhism divides into various sects. The Mompas are generally adherents of Gelupa sect of Mahayana Buddhism. Although the Mompas are Buddhists, they also have various spirits and deities. Exorcism is also practiced to avert evil. The religion of the Mompas retains remnants of the old Bon religion. The houses of the Monpas are constructed either at the top or at the slopes of hills. Beyond Bomdila, the Monpas live at an elevation of 3,048 meters above sea level. Monpa's style of house building varies with the difference in altitude. The Monpas living in low-lying areas such as Kalaktang build their houses out of wood. Those of Dirang use material such as stone for building their houses. In the Tawang region, the exterior cell is usually made of stone, whereas wood is employed to construct the interior of the houses. One can see the interesting use of water energy in the local mills. costumes that the Monpa men wear usually constitute a skull cap of felt with fringes at the tassels. Monpa villagers have dedicated their life on religion, which is signified by the widespread construction of religious structures. This is noticeable through the use of art inside their houses as well as in and out of the villages. Number of prayer flags is a common sight in a Monpa village. One can see the Buddhist mantra Om Mane Padme Hum being inscribed on stone walls across a Monpa village. The construction of stupas are also widely seen starting from the entrance of a village counting of beads, whirling the prayer wheel, burning of lamps and incense at the family chapel, visit to the Gompa, walking on the right side of a mane are some of the common features which are to be seen in a Monpa village. Their religious life centers around the monastery where a statue of Lord Buddha is found along with some scrolls of deities depicting a rich cultural heritage. The most exciting and vital aspect of Monpa tradition is found in its art of painting. They believe that painting images of deities and other religious themes is a pious act and earns merit. In this region, one can see the walls, ceilings of various monasteries and village gates painted with various divinities to spread the Buddha doctrine. Thangka painting is famous in this region and it depicts the theme of Buddha mythology. Monpa's skill in woodwork is best expressed in wood carving and mask making. Wonderful masks are carved for use in ceremonial dances which enable the spectators to understand easily the relevant meaning of the performances. Paper making is another art in which the Monpas excel. However, the art of paper making and mask making is diminishing today. Weaving and carpet making is another forte of the Monpas. Carpets made by the Monpas are in great demand for their artistic beauty, lovely design and elegant soft texture. Dance festivals and ceremonies are essential part of the Monpa folk. There are different forms of dance. One of them is the recreational dance where no specific costume is required and anyone can perform such dances. The other form is called pantomime. Pantomime dances are an important feature of the Ajilamo festival and it is also performed in the Losar festival. Pantomimes are the media through which a story is narrated for educational purposes. It is performed by the men folk only. Another important form of dance is the yak dance. In this, a few men wear the yak costume with the dummy head of a yak. On its back, the image of a goddess with upraised arms is placed. Four masked men who are said to have discovered the yak and his family member dance around the yak, narrating the story of the origin of the yak. The deer dance is performed in the Dirang village. This dance is performed to emphasize on the moral lesson that men should be compassionate to animals. The lion dance. As the legend goes, there was a saint performing meditation on the mountains. Two snow lions that lived in that mountain witnessed this pious saint performing meditation and was impressed by the saint's religious beliefs. The lions offered their milk for the sustenance of the saint and consequently became the saint's good friend. Other than the dances, the Monpas also celebrate a number of festivals. Monpas celebrate their New Year's and call it the Losar. The celebrations go on from January to early part of March. During Losar, the villagers usually visit the Gompa to pay their respects to Lord Buddha. The Lama recites holy book and prayers for the prosperity of the village and the villagers. Different types of food is also cooked to celebrate the occasion of Losar. Choikar or Choskar festival is an agricultural ceremony performed for the protection of crops. Choi means sacred text and kar suggests walking around. Choikar is organized in the village with the aim of providing supernatural protection to the crops and for good harvest, as well as to drive away evil spirits which could cause harm to the village community. In the Choikar festival, the Monpas carry holy texts and walk through the village. The festival culminates with the people reaching the monastery. Last but not the least, we have the Torgya festival. Torgya festival is a monastic festival held every year in the month of January and February. Dances are performed by the lamas in a huge courtyard of the monastery before a large audience. The Torgya festival is conducted in order to drive off evil forces and to ward the village against any natural calamities. Colorful dances are performed in magnificently designed costumes and fantastic masks. A variety of dances are presented to the accompaniment of solemn and fascinating music composed of drums and cymbals. A pyramidal structure made of millet flour is constructed to about 1 meter high and is served as a ritual offering. This is known as the Torgya. Every third year, this festival is celebrated on a grand scale known as Dongjul. Keeping ahead with their ethnic ancient culture, the Monpas are also marching towards a modernized and developed society, leading to the development of the nation.
After the ICH scheme films, we move to the segment of ICH films. As the world changes rapidly towards urbanization and globalization, the need to preserve and archive intangible cultural heritage becomes imperative. In the face of such changes, documenting actual scenes of ICH in the video format presents one of the most effective ways of identifying trends in ongoing developments and raising the profile of ICH. The International Information and Networking Center for Intangible Cultural Heritage in the Asia Pacific region, ICHCAP, under the auspices of UNESCO, shines a light on the ICH of this region and introduces its value to the public through video projects. These videos are being screened on television, at film festivals, and online platforms such as YouTube, and of course, through Sangeet Natak Academy in this festival, Kaleidoscope. ICHCAP and Sangeet Natak Academy have also signed an MOU for documentation and safeguarding and promotion of ICH in the context of the Asian perspectives and collaborations. We present 4 films today. The first one is on Kalamkari hand paintings. Kalamkari hand painting is not a mere technical craft. It is a system of beliefs of the entire community of its practitioners. Through this tradition, the world of epics and Puranas come alive, and the art then becomes a mode of transmission of stories from one generation to the next. Kalamkari is a means of transmission of a living tradition where art and craft techniques serve as a platform for linking the past to the future through the actions of daily life. These are also occasions of families celebrating the legacy of a collective heritage. Thus, physical, spiritual, and personal parameters of their lifestyle is enjoyed into a form that makes work a form of worship. Kalamkari hand paintings.
Srikalahasti, which is a great pilgrim center where a very imposing and fine temple devoted to Lord Shiva, Kalahastishvara, is a town located in Chittor district at the southern corner of Andhra Pradesh state in India. It is picturesquely situated on the bank of river Swarnamukhi. The town is only 30 kilometers from the most famous pilgrim center of Tirupati. Kalamkari painting in Srikalahasti is done entirely by Kalamkari process with the help of kalam or pen. Processes of Kalahasti Kalamkari paintings. Thick gada or kora cotton cloth is taken in required size. The cloth is washed well in flowing water to remove the starch and then dried. The Swarnamukhi river that skirts Kalahasti town is obviously suitable for the purpose. The cloth is then soaked in the mixed solution of myrobalan and buffalo milk for about 30 minutes. Milk is added to prevent the spreading of color while drawing the designs on the mordanted cloth. This immersion in the myrobalan solution facilitates the black color to become permanently fixed in the fibers of the cloth. The cloth dipped in myrobalan solution has a yellow appearance and is ready to take black color. The Kalamkari artist then proceeds to draw on the myrobalan treated cloth the outlines of the figures and designs with charcoal sticks made of tamarind twigs. Normally, expert artists draw the figures merely from memory. Over this, the artist draws the final lines with a black solution called the kasim by using an ingeniously made pen or kalam. This kalam consists of a bamboo stick about 6 inches long with an end sharpened into a point with a pen knife. A little way up from the pointed end, a thick padding of felt or wool is made and tied round the stick with a string. When the pen is dipped in the black color solution, the felt sponge absorbs and retains it. The artist draws the lines, making use of the pointed end of the kalam as a pen point, and by exerting a slight pressure on the sponge. The point is kept supplied with the required quantity of the dye. The artist is able to maintain correct proportions of the body and limbs of the figures and also depict their expression and action beautifully. By constant practice, the artist develops a knack of drawing the figures with great ease, accuracy, and aesthetic perceptivity. After completing the drawing of outlines of the panels and designs, the craftsman proceeds to give the cloth its background color, namely red. The general background of almost all the designs produced here at Kalahasti is red, wherever the red color is needed on the cloth. The workman paints over those areas with alum solution. The alum solution, with the help of another type of kalam, which is no more than a bamboo stick about 6 inches long, with felt or wool tied round the middle. But here, the edge of the kalam is not sharp. The cloth is then washed in flowing water and dried in the sun. The red color is developed with either surudu bark or manjistha roots or chavalkodi roots. Here, the craftsman has taken chavalkodi roots, and the roots are crushed into small pieces in rolu with rokali type rod. These crushed pieces of chavalkodi are taken into a bucket, and some quantity of moduga flowers are mixed and then transferred to dye bath. The dye bath is stirred well, and the cloth samples already washed and dried after applying alum are worked in the dye bath at about 90 degrees centigrade temperature for about half an hour. Wherever the alum was applied on cloth, the red color is developed. Then the dyed clothes are taken out, washed well in water and dried. After dyeing, the cloth undergoes an interesting bleaching process developed by native ingenuity. A solution of sheep or cow dung is prepared and the cloth is soaked in it for overnight. The cloth is rinsed in flowing water in the morning and then spread on the moist riverbed called Javuku surface. As the sun rays fall on the cloth gets bleached at those areas wherever the alum was not applied. The process is repeated for 2 or 3 days so as to get maximum white. After attaining required white, the cloths are washed and dried. After the bleaching process, the cloth is treated with milk solution for about 10 minutes, squeezed and dried, so as to avoid the spreading of colors while painting. Now, the figures on the design are ready to take other colors that are needed. Yellow color solution, which is prepared by powdering dried myrobalan flowers, is painted with column, wherever the yellow color is desired. The yellow color is generally applied to depict the jewelry and also for the bodies of some of the human figures. Especially, the female figures are painted yellow. The cloth is then washed in flowing water and dried. The application of blue or green color is now undertaken. The blue color solution is prepared with indigo. This is applied with column wherever blue color is needed. If the blue color is applied on yellow, green color is obtained. The cloth is finally washed in flowing water and then dried. Though there is no definite convention about what particular colors the different figures should have. The color scheme is generally as follows. Female figures are usually yellow, Devatas are depicted in blue, Rakshasas in red and green, and some figures are left uncovered. Sri Gurappa Chetty, son of Jonalagadda Lakshmaya, won the National Award, Shilpa Guru Award and Padma Shri Award for his excellency in the Kalahasti hand painting. Sri A. Munikrishnan taught the art as master craftsperson of the Pilot Training Center for about 33 years to nearly 85 candidates and won the National Award. The following are some of the mythological stories hand-painted by the expert artists of Sri Kalahasti. Sri Krishna Leelamrutam, Ashtaganapatlu, Dasavataram, Sri Krishna Leelalu, Ashtalakshmalu, and Sri Krishna Tulabharam. These are all drawn by the expert artist Sri G. Krishna Reddy, who got Limca Book of Records for his 36 feet by 16 feet Sampurna Ramayanam. Ganesha, sketch by Sri C. Subramaniam, National Merit Certificate holder. Jesus Story by Sri M. Ramachandraya. Tallisyapa Vimukti Tirchana Tanayuni Katha from Sarpabandham. Garut Manthuni Puranam by Sri V. Srinivasulu Reddy, State Awardee. Ramayana Story by Srimati M. Muniratnamma and Sri M. Vishwanatha Reddy, National Awardees. Sampurna Ramayanam, drawn by Sri M. Nagaraju, MG Memorial Award winner. To meet the taste of the consumers as per the present market trend, some of the artists are painting modern designs and some of the craftspersons are painting the saris, dress materials, etc. Let us preserve and promote the Kalamkari paintings, traditional craftsmanship of Sri Kalahasti.
Our next ICH film is on Phad paintings. Phad paintings are made in Bhilwara district of Rajasthan. The singers who narrate the stories depicted in Phad are scattered across Rajasthan in the Bhilwara district, Ratanpura in Hanumangarh district, and Devmali in the Ajmer district. Phad is an approximately 30 feet long and 5 feet broad painted scroll which depicts stories of epic dimensions about local deities and legendary heroes. We present a film on Phad of Rajasthan.
रे केड़े केड़े बण्या देवरा इटालियो परगास केड़े केड़े बण्या देवरा इटालियो परगास ये साडो जीरे कारणे आया कमल पोलियो तारे मारे गिरे हालो जी नारायण तारे साडो जोवे बा मारे गिरे हालो जी परमेश्वर तारे साडो जोवे बा ये साडो जोवे बाट खटाणे उबे नाले बाट मारे गिरे हालो नारायण तारे साडो जोवे बा मारे गिरे हालो जी परमेश्वर तारे साडो जोवे बा रे माला सररी माला डूंगरी में देव लिया ओतारे माला सररी माला डूंगरी रिम देव ले आयो ता हे पीरो भोपो लाड लडावे कर जो बेड़ा पार मारे घरे हालो जी नारायण तारे साडू जोवे बा हमारे घरे हालो जी परमेश्वर साडू जोवे बा हे साडो जोवे बाट खटाणे उबे नाले बाट मारे घरे हालो नारायण तारे साडो जोवे बा जय बोलो देव दे माळे नाथ।
पर चित्रकारी करने से पहले भी इसमें बहुत सारे काम हैं जो हमें पहले प्रारंभिक स्तर पे करने होते हैं। ये हैंड वोवन क्लॉथ होता है, हाथ से बुना हुआ कपड़ा। जुलाहों से हम लोग ये खरीदते हैं। उस कपड़े को हम लोग एक रात गला देते हैं ताकि वो सूत थोड़ा मोटा हो जाए, गल के, मतलब ऑब्जर्व कर ले अच्छा सा। फिर उसके बाद हम लोग कलप बनाते हैं, स्टार्च मैदा का बनाते हैं हम लोग, और उस कपड़े को स्टार्च में भिगो देते हैं और अच्छी तरह मैश करते हैं उसके साथ उसको। फिर उसको सारे सल निकालने के बाद धूप में स्ट्रेच करके सुखा देते हैं। जब वो पूरी तरह सूख जाता है तो उसमें एक अजीब सा हार्डनेस आ जाती है उस कपड़े में, एकदम थिक हो जाता है वो। फिर उसको हम लोग मोरे पे हम लोग बर्निश करते हैं, घिसाई होती है उसकी, जिससे एकदम स्मूथ हो जाता है, जैसे एकदम शाइन आ जाती है उसके ऊपर, ताकि ब्रशिंग पेंटिंग वगैरह करें तब उसमें थोड़ा इजीली ब्रश भी चल सके और रंगों का उपयोग भी बराबर से किया जा सके। कलर तैयार करते हैं, वही पत्थर के बने हुए रंग। इनको हर रंग को बारी बारी से पीसना होता है। पीसने के बाद इसको छानना होता है। छानने के बाद इसमें गोंद, जो पेड़ के लगता है गोंद, वो मिला करके मिक्स करके फिर हम लोग काम में लेते हैं। गोंद इसलिए मिलाते हैं ताकि वो कलर थोड़ा सा पक्का हो जाए, इस पर चिपक जाए कपड़े के साथ अच्छी तरह से, ताकि वो लंबे टाइम तक वो बोपे लोगों के लिए जीवित रह सके वो फल।
लाग रिया ऐसा
नो कुली तो नाग बने,
हाँ सा
32 फलियां को हे देव महाराज का हाथ में वो कमल को
फूल
राजा बासक नाग फूंकार मारे तू फूल बड़ बसम
पूजा ये
देव महाराज सुई नजर अमी की झांके,
हाँ सा
ए 32 पागड़ियां।
मैंने तो ऐतिहासिक घटनाओं पर बनाई है, पौराणिक गाथाओं पर बनाई है, और मैंने प्रयास किया था जैसे हल्दी घाटी है, रामायण पे है, हनुमान चालीसा है, दुर्गा सप्तशती है।
ऋषि हमारी के ठोड़े भेवाड़ू डोडा येले, ऋषि हमारी के ठोड़े
बेवाड़ू ये डोडा ये ले
ऋषि हमारी के ठोड़े भेवाड़ू नागिर भेले,
बेवाड़ू नागिर भेले नारायण मीठी नी मेड़े
ऋषि हमारी के ठोड़े भेवाड़ा नागिर भेले,
बेवाड़ू नागिर भेले
नारायण मीठी नी मेड़े। ए ऋषि हमारी दोरा में भेवाड़ो डोडा येले, ऋषि हमारी दोरा में
बेवाड़ो डोडा ये ले
थे तो क्या में
बेवाड़ो नागिर भेले बेवाड़ो नागिर भेले मारे वदण्याली नी मेड़ी
थे तो क्या में
बेवाड़ो नागिर भेले बेवाड़ो नागिर भेले
नारायण मीठी नी मेड़ी।
हाँ जियो मोटा देव बनाओ नेणा में सिजना नींद आवे जियो की धर्मी देव बना रे कांकड़ रागे वाला झूरे चारू बेर जी हो कांकड़ रागे वाला झूरे झूरे चारू बेर जी हे बाट नाराजी युबा झूरे नैना थाल्या नेर मारा
देव महाराज की अगवाणी मना हो जी भेरों काला ही गोरा
अवधूत
अगवाणी उदास सिमर जो खंड खंडे खेतर
पाले
काला गोरा भेरू नाथ के भरिया रहते
भंडार जी की ओ बेरू जी ए टूंक में रे जे बाबा टोडा में हेरा ये टूंक में रे बाबा टोडा में हेरा ये चामल रे चतरिया में जा तो लाजो जी है टीलो बेरू लाजो रे रंगीलो बे बारे दूर लाजो रे थाने ने तो जियो ने काटन जाला देवे रे ये टीला बेरू देवे रे रंगीला बे बारे दूर लाग रे
तथाधारी राज के मार कमरा मात कटाढ़ ने गावता हे पड़े पटोड़े याद सोनो मठे सुंदर सोन में साध लवार गाय सोनो बाठे सुंदर साड़ मारा ए तथाधारी राज के मार कमरा नाग पाड़ खज डोंगरा बहुत धरा तो गाय कमरा ने उज धरा तो के रड़ा कह दे टोड़ तो माठ कमरा नाग पाड़ खज डोंगरा बहुत धरा तो गाय मरधा नाग फाड़ का डोंगरा रे
गाया धड़ारी के वाली दाड़ी बिहारी समनल मालती वियो गाया धड़ारी के वाली ते धरे बोझो समरलो बागे गो जियो बोली गो वारी जियो बोझो जी समरलो बागे गो जियो बोली गो रे वारी जानरे जवा तो करो जारे मोरिया जियो ढूंढे गिया और नाथ मेरे दानवा करो जारे मोरिया जियो ढूंढे गिया और रात माया दीदी देखो बोला रे नाथ जी जियो भगती करे परिवार माया दीदी दीनारे नाथ जी जियो भगती करे परिवार माया बंडो बेधारे माखिया देव बाधी जू बोली हो जान माया रे मंडो देखो कहूँ भरे बाखिया
माजी का के वो छे डेली खटाणी का के वो छे
Our next ICH film is Sankheda Nu Lakh Kam, lacquered turnwood furniture of Sankheda, Gujarat, India. Sankheda is a small town in the eastern region of Gujarat. It derives its name from Sanghedu, the word for a lathe in the Gujarati language. The town has about 80 to 100 families belonging to the Karadi Suthar community, identified with the occupation of wood turning. Lacquered turned wood furniture with hand-painted motifs and traditional method of ornamentation, popularly known as Sankheda furniture, is thought to have been produced in the town from about 1855 AD. As most of the craftsmen in Sankheda town are involved in this art and craft, it gives them a strong sense of community, identity, and continuity. Sankheda Nu Lakh Kam, lacquered turn wood furniture of Sankheda, Gujarat, India.
Sankheda, a town in the eastern region of Gujarat. Sankheda, a town in the eastern region of Gujarat, derives its name from Sanghedu, the word for lathe in the Gujarati language. The town owes its fame to the lacquered and painted wood furniture, which derives expression from the cylindrical sections of teak wood that have been turned, shaped, and colored on a lathe. The town has about 200 craftsmen, of which 80 to 100 families belong to the Kharadi community, identified with the occupation of wood turning. The furniture making workshops are located in the narrow streets of the Kharadi Bazaar, where the smell, sights, and sounds of wood turning are omnipresent. The traditional craft process of making Sankheda furniture involves 6 stages: turning and shaping individual components, applying motifs using a tin-based paint, rubbing the surface with an agate stone, applying clear lacquer, finishing the surface with the kevda leaf and oil, and assembling the components with wood joinery. All of the 5 stages are done while the craftsman is turning the lathe. The craftsman deftly uses chisels and gouges to shape the wood and achieves symmetric and even contours without using any measuring device or markings. The swing is one of the most popular items of furniture in a Gujarati home, which is well suited to the hot and humid climate in the western and northern plains of India. The making of paint from tin and its use for embellishing the furniture with patterns is distinctive of the Sankheda tradition. An agate stone called akik is rubbed over the tin paint to enhance its luster. An orange-colored liquid is applied over the tin to simulate gold, and finally, a coat of clear lacquer made from tree resin or insect secretion is applied to protect all the previous coats. Today, in Sankheda, the use of enamel paints and synthetic lacquer are replacing the traditional natural lac and the tin-based paint. The craftsman wields the brush with great mastery to map the pattern freehand on the curved surface. Lacquered and turned wood furniture of Sankheda has a special position in Gujarati culture. This form of expression, derived from the use of turning and shaping, has been extended to a wide variety of furniture items, such as the child's cradle and walker, to large items such as sofa, chair, center table, and swing. The traditional vocabulary and response to proportions and ornamentation that can be described as a classic can be seen at the Shreyas Folk Museum, a museum of folk art and culture of Gujarat located in the city of Ahmedabad. The elegant low-seated stools or chairs in muted colors and sober motifs were used to seat the bride and groom during the marriage ceremony. Research and revival of the traditional process of making tin-based paint in Sankheda furniture needs to be initiated to bring back the sensibility and harmony which a classic form sustains. Sankheda furniture has a distinctive form due to the technique and processes of wood turning combined with painted motifs of tin and lacquer coatings that has found a pride of place in many Gujarati homes, occasions, and social functions. The ornate nature of the product lends itself to becoming a visible symbol of expression that has been identified as Gujarati within its local precinct as well as in distant places where Gujaratis have travelled. This form of expression is chiefly because the use of turning and shaping has been extended to a wide range of furniture items, such as a child's cradle, a child's walker, to large items of sofa, chairs, and a swing, a response unique to tropical and humid climate.
We now present a film on the votive terracotta painted plaque of Mulela, Rajasthan. Votive terracotta painted plaques produced by the terracotta artisans of Mulela are hand-modeled, hollowed reliefs of Hindu deities, especially of the neo-Vaishnava deity Dev-Narayan. Dev-Narayan is accompanied by his characteristic snake symbol in the plaque. Terracotta artisans from Mulela are the only community entitled to make these sort of votive plaques. We present the votive terracotta painted plaque of Mulela, Rajasthan.
In India, shrines are ubiquitous, on hilltops, by the roadsides, beneath trees, inside courtyards, inside shops and factories, and everywhere. The potters of Mulela make votive terracotta painted plaques of Nagdev, the serpent god, Dev Narayan, a neo-Vaishnava incarnation, goddess Durga, and a wide range of deities made in the distinctive hand-formed clay relief technique. Mulela is situated near Udaipur, the city of lakes, and Nathdwara, an important pilgrimage site in Rajasthan. Mulela is at the foothills of the Aravalli range and near the river Banas. Each year, during January-February, several tribes travel great distances to Mulela, accompanied by the Bhopa or priest shamans who help each family identify the deity appropriate for them. The priest leads the procession from Mulela to the banks of the river Banas, where the deity is worshipped with prayers and feasting. The groups return to their respective villages, where the deities are installed in a shrine and worshipped. The Mulela potters are solely permitted to craft the votive plaques for the tribals. and thus develop a deep bond through many generations of service. Mulela has 40 potter families belonging to the community of Khumbas, of which only 14 families are engaged in making the votive terracotta painted plaques. Plastic clay obtained from the local ponds is mixed with donkey dung, rice husk, and water and kneaded into the required consistency by the women of the family. The craftsman works with concentration and uses his body to carry out a number of actions: rolling, wedging, flattening, and leveling the clay into a large rectangular plaque. He approaches the next stage of building the relief forms by using a variety of clay modeling techniques such as slabbing, pinching, rolling, forming pellets, and incising to create the figure in hollow relief. He transforms the lump of clay with great virtuosity using simple tools and visualizing the deity using his experience and sensibility, which derives from his religious conviction and devotion to the Lord Devanarayan. The plaque is sun-dried and fired in an indigenous kiln. It is coated with a mixture of white clay and gum over which mineral colors are painted. The painted figure is further embellished with pieces of tin foil and coated with a locally made lacquer called jala. Terracotta plaques of the goddess Durga are installed and worshipped at a temple in Mulela. The Bhopa or priests also belong to the Kumhar community, and they consecrate the terracotta plaques for the tribals, which are made for them by the potters. The cultural threads that bind three communities, the potters, the priests, and the Bhil, Meena and Garasia tribes of Gujarat and Rajasthan, and the Gujjar and Garijat tribes of Rajasthan, is unique to the votive terracotta craft of Mulela. The region also has visual narrative traditions like the painted scroll called Phad, which depicts events of the life of Dev Narayan. The Bhopa or Bhilwara region are itinerant bards and use the scroll to narrate the story of folk heroes and deities. Seen here is a Phad painting with the terracotta plaque of Dev Narayan as the central icon, installed at the Sanskriti Museum of Everyday Art in Delhi. Several craftsmen in Mulela have received the National Award for Master Craftsmen and invitations to travel and visit international events, leading to new exposure, interaction, and resulting in commissions to create murals for public places. These have encouraged craftsmen's creativity and given opportunities to visualize secular and contemporary themes and to explore the narrative potential of their craft. The recognition has contributed to improving the economic status and well-being of only a handful of potters. The challenge lies in extending this to much larger groups of potters and artisans. Mulela craft exemplifies a number of unique features. At the community level, it uses visual expression embodied in the hollow clay relief plaques to bind three local communities: the potters, priests, and tribals in a symbiotic cultural, social, and economic relationship. The tacit knowledge held by the craftsmen and women include a vast repertoire of human and animal forms and the ability to mold these figures without the aid of drawing. Further, their understanding of the material and process is evident in their ability to produce stable offerings that do not crack or warp through the extreme stages from wet clay, the sun-dried stage, to the fired terracotta. This represents a body of technical knowledge that is part of the traditional wisdom of these craftsmen.
That was a presentation of our ICH films. With that, we bring this session to a close. We take a short break, after which we will present traditional craftsmanship workshops from 2 p.m. onwards. And today we will see how the Laidibi dolls of Manipur are made. Until then, take care.